Hello and welcome back into Studio B. My name is Jyoti Bainey and this is a yin practice focused on the sides of the body or the seam of the body. And today we're going to move through approximately 3 shapes that are going to help to open up some spaciousness and bring some awareness to the sides of the body. Let's drop in right away, beginning with half shoelace pose. So I'm going to turn lengthwise on my mat, and I'm actually going to choose not to use a prop for this initial pose, but you might have a blanket or a bolster, as you see I have here available if that feels of service to you. The left leg is going to be straight, and the right knee is going to come to stack on top of the left, and you sort of tuck that right heel in towards the outer left hip. And then because this is a yin practice, we want the body to soften so you can relax the sole of the foot, the legs, and then maybe sweep the arms out and up and take a couple breaths, almost like you might as you were stretching in the morning from waking up. Kind of leaning from side to side, opening up some space again in that seam of the body. And then as you're ready, begin to take the torso and gently lay yourself forward until you naturally stop. And then again, sort of reminding yourself that in this yin practice, the muscles can sort of turn off. So there's no intention to strive in the pose. You're not trying to achieve anything in particular while you're in the shape. Instead, there's a quality of simply placing the body in a shape and allowing yourself to be here. When we talk about the sides of the body, the area that might immediately come to the mind is the ribs or the waist. And yet we're beginning this practice by drawing our attention to this outer seam of the legs. In particular, we are directing sensation or inviting sensation in through the iliotibial band or the IT band, which runs from the outer knee to the outer hip. And so you may notice the part of your body that is talking to you most directly right now is that outer seam of the left leg. Let's take about 3 more breaths here. And then taking your time to lift the head and let the torso float up. You might even pause for a breath or two, just sitting upright. And then we're going to open up into half butterfly. So we're going to uncross that top right leg. I'm going to turn to face the long edge of my mat, pretending that I'm seeing your lovely faces. And then take my right heel and just gently hug it in towards the pubic area. And then I am going to use my bolster for this next one here. So I'll place my blanket to the side. And my bolster, you'll notice, is right behind this extended left leg. And we're going to be folding laterally here. So if you need to take the bolster and turn it to this medium height so that the elevation meets you a little bit more easily, feel free to do that. And then we'll place that left elbow on the bolster and just let the left hand cradle the head. And then once you get that position in place, you might just take a couple breaths with the right hand either resting on the right thigh or maybe right in front of you. And just allowing this to be a check-in just to see maybe this is already enough. Knowing that in this yin practice, we're never seeking extremes. We're really looking for that Goldilocks, not too much, not too little. And then if you would like a little bit more, you could sweep the right arm up towards the ceiling, bend the right elbow, and either let the hand rest behind the head, or it might even drape down a bit. And it's almost as if you've walked through a doorway into a whole new landscape of sensation here. And just allowing the mind to settle in. And you can think of the seam of the body as like the banks of a river. And so you can allow the mind to sit on this riverbank, observing any sensations as they float past. Observing any thoughts as they come and as they go. Knowing that you don't always have to be a participant, but that you can willfully develop the skill set of witnessing. And then slowly let the right arm release down if you chose to drape it overhead. And then let the rest of the torso float up to center and pause for a few breaths. And then without moving any other part of your body, let the eyes open. We're going to move briefly into Netra Vyayamam, the eye movements. So again, not moving any other part of the body, lift your eyes up to the ceiling and begin tracing a clockwise circle around the periphery of your line of sight. So Netra Vyayamam, the eye movements, is yet another way that we can explore the perimeter of the body. And the eyes are a place where we often accumulate strain and stress. And so this very simple action of sweeping the eyes around the perimeter helps to stretch and tone the muscles around the optic nerve. And the next time you reach the ceiling, stop, look straight ahead, close the eyes, take a full breath in, and a complete breath out. And then let's take this two pose sequence on the second side. I'm going to turn to face the other direction on my mat. So I'm going to begin with that half shoelace. Right leg will be extended this time. Left knee stacks on top of the right, and I tuck that left heel into my outer right hip. And then relaxing the sole of my right foot, letting the weight of my legs settle in. And then just reaching up to the ceiling for a couple of breaths, exploring the spacious quality in the sides of the body. And then taking that length and gently draping my torso over the legs. So for me, the seam often represents the place in the body, the mind, the heart, or the soul, where we push the things that we don't want to deal with. And so as we practice encountering the seam of the body, we practice coming face to face with things that we may have been ignoring, that we may have pushed aside for another time. Perhaps things that feel a little raw or tender. And so working into the seam of the body often requires a level of self-compassion. Challenging our ability to be gentle with ourselves as we do the difficult work of encountering our own vulnerability. What might you soften here for these remaining few breaths? And then slowly lifting the head and the rest of the torso. And honoring this space of transition where the body might need to just sit upright for a few breaths. And then as you're ready, you can begin to shift open into that half butterfly by uncrossing that top left leg and then opening to face the long edge of the mat. Hi there. Tucking that left heel in. And then if you'd like to bring in a prop like a bolster, which I am going to do, then placing it behind that right leg, remembering you can place it on a higher rotation or lower. And then as you're ready, letting that right elbow snuggle in and gently cradle the head and just take a couple breaths there. You know, for me, I'm actually noticing straight away that this side of the body is feeling less receptive. I'm automatically noticing a little bit more resistance to opening. And so I might take a few more breaths just with my left arm in my lap or along the left thigh. But know that you are invited to sweep the left arm overhead when and if you choose. You might just, again, envision yourself sitting on the riverbanks, watching the river pass by. Maybe every breath that's sweeping through the side body is like a little ripple in that river. You're not in the water. You're not being caught up by the current. You're just sitting on the edge of the riverbank watching. Noticing the flow, the transitions. Just watching what's here. And then slowly releasing the left arm if you brought it overhead. And taking your time, really honoring any tenderness in the body as you come out, pausing for a moment. And then once again, opening the eyes, we'll shift into Netra Vyayamam, the eye movements. So lifting the eyes up to the ceiling without moving any other part of the body, begin to trace a counterclockwise circle. Trying not to skip or jump over any of the points along that periphery of your line of sight. Just resting in the simplicity of sweeping the eyes in this counterclockwise circular direction. Next time you reach the top, no rushing. You'll stop, look straight ahead, close the eyes, take a full breath in, and a complete breath out. And then we'll open the eyes. We're going to come onto our backs for a pose that really marries together the two shapes that we've already practiced, by bringing together an opening in the outer leg as well as up through the side body and even in the shoulders and arms, which is the banana pose. So as you come onto your back, you'll rest your body in the middle of the mat, the pelvis right here, centered and totally soft. And then without moving the pelvis at all, guide both of the feet and the heels over to the left bottom corner of your mat. Sweep the arms out and overhead, maybe holding on to an opposite wrist or opposite elbows. And then you might slide the shelf of the shoulders over to the left, creating a deeper banana or crescent moon shape in the body. And then a final option here would be to take the right ankle and stack it over the left. And then direct your attention to the riverbank of the body, It's running from your right elbow down the outer right arm, through the right shoulder, down the right side of the rib cage and the right side of the waist, through the outer right hip, down the right iliotibial band, swirling down the right knee and calf, and ending in the outer right foot. Notice the breath undulating in and out through that right seam of the body. Every breath, just like the water of a river, removing any residue from the riverbank. Slowly creating a wider, more spacious river over time. Taking your time over the next couple of breaths, return to center and rest in Shavasana for about 5 breaths. And as you sense the body's readiness to move to the second side, without moving the pelvis, guide both of the heels to the bottom right corner of your mat. Sweep the arms back overhead, holding opposite wrist or elbow, maybe sliding the shelf of the shoulders to the right a few inches. And that final offering is to stack the left ankle over the right, deepening that banana or crescent moon shape. And then scanning from the outer left foot and ankle, moving up the outer left calf, swirling around the outer left knee, traveling up the left iliotibial band and the outer rim of the left hip. Scanning the left side of the waist, all of the ribs on the left side of the rib cage. Scanning through the left shoulder and the outer left arm, all the way up to the tip of the left elbow. And noticing the breath, gently increasing the spacious quality along the left seam of the body. Knowing that the body is doing all of the work of the practice just by being here and breathing. Taking one more full breath here. And then we'll transition into Shavasana, knowing that you are welcome to bring in the support of the bolster, perhaps dimming the lights at home, covering yourself with a blanket, maybe even draping an eye pillow over the eyes. And then direct your attention to the outer seam of the body. And as you breathe here, allowing the breath to gently expand and press out into the seam of the body. And then the body softening and emptying on the exhale. Allowing the body to rest. If this is the time that you set aside for your practice, you can begin to invite in deeper breath and subtle movement. If you have more time, feel free to pause this video and stay here for as long as you like. As the movement slowly increases, begin to awaken the body, and in your own way and in your own time, make your way back up to a comfortable seat. Pausing for a moment once you've returned to your seat. Perhaps just noticing the quality of the body and the mind at the end of practice. Giving yourself just a moment to notice before rushing off to the next task of the day. Let's bring the palms of our hands together to close this practice, which I will do with a very simple peace chant. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om. Shanti, Om. Peace, peace, peace.